All right, hey guys, OFD checking in here on Father's Day Sunday. Thank you guys to all your dads out there, or to all you dads out there. Just thanks for that. It's Father's Day, so enjoy yourself today. So, guys, today we're going to be taking a look at a couple of new dive watches from Aeonic Watch Company. Now, these watches aren't available yet to the public. They are on a Kickstarter campaign tour, so they'll be around a few different channels. I'm going to send them over to Chris and Marshall Time next, so definitely stay tuned and look for these watches. Now, Aeonic Watch Company was started by a gentleman by the name of Levi Neely. I actually met Levi a little bit through YouTube years back because he was doing reviews of Blue Shark straps also, as was I, and so it was kind of neat that he started making his own watches. This is his second watch, this diver is. He also did a men's 39mm dress watch, very thin, very nice watch on the wrist that he sold the first time around. So let's go ahead and take a look at these ones. Now, these are the Glaucus diver from Aeonic Watches. The name itself, the Glaucus, is named after a Greek mythology, a mere mortal that ate a magical herb and turned him into a sea god. So kind of interesting there. The Glaucus itself is actually, or the Glaucus Atlanticus is actually a what they call a sea dragon that actually roams through the sea and eats the Portuguese Man-o-war jellyfish, which is a super deadly jellyfish. But it eats them and it actually stores up the poison to use to attack a larger creature, which I think is pretty interesting. So that's enough of the name of the watch. Let's get into the dimensions on this watch here and talk a little bit about it. You got a 42mm case from side to side, which for me is just about a sweet spot. I love the 42mm cases. You're looking at just under 49 at like 48.5 is what I measured from side to lug tip to lug tip. So great size there. Just under 13.5 at 13.3 millimeters of thickness. You have a flat sapphire crystal in this watch, which helps with that. And you have a 22mm lug opening in this watch. 120 click unidirectional bezel on this watch. Locks in very nicely, as you guys can see. Now, I noticed on the white one, the white model I have down there, that it was a little bit, the spring wasn't very stiff. Levi was aware of that, and he says that he's making sure the manufacturers put a stiffer spring and larger detents in there, so you really notice that. So the dial on the watch is really very special, and I don't know if I can capture it really on this black one because of the reflections, but it's what you'd consider like a Fumi dial, so it's got the pebbling effect to it there. Really nicely done. And then your chapter ring around the outside, you can barely capture it there in the light. This will show better on the white version, I guarantee you, but you see how the indices are cut out, or the chapter ring itself is cut out to fit those indices down inside of there, those applied indices. I think that's a really, really neat look on it. So just below the 12 o'clock there, you have the Aeonic, the logo, that River of Life logo. This is all painted on. And down below this, or above the 6 o'clock, you have the Glaucus, the 1,000 feet, and the 300 meters automatic. The automatic in this watch, or the movement this watch is running, is the venerable Seiko NH35. 24 joules, 40 hours of power reserve, beating at a slow beat of 21,600 vibrations per hour. Great, great movement used in so many micro brands nowadays. It also offers the date window down here at the 4 o'clock position. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull the crown out. I want to get the hands out of the way so we can get a better look at everything going on here on the dial. And let's go all the way around to 150 is always a good time there. Now, hacking and hand windable, of course, with the NH35 movement. The case on this watch, I think you guys are going to notice the color of the case. And I'm wearing my Tudor right now, so you guys can see the coloring on the case. This is actually PVD coated stainless steel on these watches, which I think is a really neat look because it's not black, but it's just this kind of gunmetal gray, and it's just such a nice look on the watch. The cases on these watches are all brushed. There's no polishing done. Coin edge bezel, very, very nicely done on this watch. I do wish we had a lumed pip on the bezel. That was one complaint I would have about the watch. The bracelet itself is very solid. You have screwed links on this watch, very solidly done. Simple clasp assembly here, 2 push buttons, and you do have your regular pressed clasp assembly inside of here. That may be giving some people a little bit of heartache that like to see machine bars, but these actually wear very comfortably for me. I like the flat hardware inside of there. They wear better, in my opinion, my humble opinion. So taking a look at the case back on this watch, you guys can see what I think is, if I can get it to focus, come on, Aaron. You guys can see the Glaucus logo, or the actual Greek mythology creature there. Written on the back, it lets you know this is Sapphire Crystal, 316L stainless steel. All the important information there on the back, the name, the company. You can see the solid links, of course, on this watch. One thing I didn't mention also is this watch does have a signed crown there at the 4 o'clock position, just with that simple logo there on it. I don't know why my camera's having so much trouble focusing this morning. I don't know if I got a dirty lens on there or what, but there we go. starting to work for me. It's picking up, I think what it is, it's picking up that watch in the back, and it's trying to decide which one I want to show. But very nice looking watch. Let's go ahead and bring the white dial model up here and show you that one also. Again, I'm going to need to move the hands around to get them in a better position for you guys. Now, if you look down there, I didn't mention this the first time, but take a look at the date wheel, and you can see that in the font is in red. So every, I think it's the even number days are in red, odd number days are black. So that's kind of interesting. Usually on your NH35 date wheel, you've only got the red for your Sundays. Actually, no, you usually don't, because this is just the date wheel itself. It's usually the day wheel that is in red for Sundays. So that's a little bit different, something I'm not quite used to, but definitely gives a little bit more flavor to the dial of the watch. So I want to try to get a little closer here with this one, because I want you to capture that dial, that pebbling to the dial. And you can see much better on this white version. You can see the cutout for the indices in that chapter ring. So good looking watch, nice looking setup here. You've got standard, baton style hands that come to a nice point with that split in the middle. This watch has BGW9 Super Luminova. So as usual at the end, we'll get this watch on the wrist and then go out with that traditional Lume shot. So as a matter of fact, let's go ahead and pause it for a second, and I'll get the black one on the wrist. All right, so there's the watch on my 7-inch wrist. Fits me really well. It's funny, this one came from Levi, and I think we must have just about the same size wrist, because it fits me perfect. I didn't have to do any adjusting to anything, but the watch just fits just right. So good looking watch. The 42mm case for me on my 7-inch wrist, I think wears just right. Just enough wrist presence without being overboard, and I just really like the way it looks. Love the crown at the 4 o'clock position, very Seiko-esque, and it looks really, really good on the watch. One of the things I wanted to mention here before I dim the lights and go out with the Lume shot is the other things that these watches come with is you get this seatbelt style NATO strap that will come with the watch, and then these watch rolls from Aeonic are really, really nice watch rolls. I'm pretty impressed by these. Now you go ahead and, of course, undo your clasp there, open her up, and what I like is you've got a place to store 2 watches, and they're also including this little piece here. This will go basically in between, your watch back and the bracelet there, so that when you store them, your bracelet isn't scratching up the case back on your watch. So I think that's a pretty neat idea there they did on that one. And they're just a good looking setup to come with the watch here. So very good looking watches. Let's go ahead and dim the lights, and let's go out with the Lume shot here on the OFD channel. All right, so one of the things I got to mention is that, with prototype watches, I'm never quite sure how the Lume is going to be, because some people request different things. They ask that different Lume be applied to hands, to indices, so they can see the different in the Lume. So I haven't really checked these, to be honest with you. This is BGW9 Super Luminova. Both these watches seem to have a really good application of it. Both are glowing nice and bright blue. Wow, look at the blue pop on that white dial there. That looks really cool. Actually, it looks cool on both of them. It just really, really pops on the white dial, definitely. I would like to see a Lume pip there at the 12 o'clock position, as that would make it, ISO legitimate to have that glowing pip there. But either way, the watches are really good looking. These are available for getting on the campaign over there at the Kickstarter website. The watches are running for $450 US. They are designed in the United States, and each watch is actually hand inspected when they come back from where they're manufactured. So you're getting a really nice watch. They don't send out any watches that don't pass their inspection. So nice job, Levi. Very good looking watches here. I love the Glaucus. Really hope these do good for you. So, all right, guys, if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up down there at the bottom. And if you've not subscribed to the OFD channel yet, please do. Please do. Thanks, guys.